NIA on the spot. This is a huge explosion because there are the mangled remains of multiple cars. We are told that in a whole area of 100-150 meters, nothing really was not brought to absolute ruin. You see the signs of the devastation, ladies and gentlemen.
First call came around 6:55. That was the first call of explosion. Thereafter, immediately by 7:10 is when the report came in of about 3 vehicles where the explosion actually took place. There's a possibility of a direct link between Faridabad and what's happening at Red Fort. The severity of this blast can only be understood by the fact that the Hyundai i20's car door swung to about 200 meters from the very point of a blast. That gives you a clear understanding of the intensity of the blast.
Jaish link in Faridabad module Delhi blast. Pak ISI's white collar terror network unmasked. Why isn't the Pakistan link named in the Delhi blast? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
And tonight on the nation's sharpest opinion, I want to talk to you about white-collar jihad. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, white-collar jihad is not a fragment of anyone's imagination. It's a reality of contemporary India. Look at the education of these white-collar jihadis, these Islamist terrorists. Look at their degrees. Look at the professions of these people who have been arrested in the bracket of terrorism in the last 1 week. The people who carried out the Chandni Chowk terrorist strike, they are all doctors. Yes, doctors, ladies and gentlemen. These are white-collar jihadis. These are the traitors within. These are the Mir Jafars. These are the betrayers. These are the people who should be picked up and sent to Pakistan. The detention of several doctors and seizure of almost 3 tons of kilograms of explosive material from 2 houses in Faridabad proves what I've always been saying. The radicalization of Islamist educated minds is the real danger in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, our academic institutions have been infiltrated by an Islamist lobby that uses wokeness but stands for terror. 3 Maulvis are under investigation and mass radicalization concerns are there. There is a cleric from Shopian, Maulvi Irfan Ahmad, arrested and questioned. There is a Muslim cleric from Mewat, Hafiz Muhammad Ishtiaq, arranged the logistics for Faridabad. There is a Muslim cleric, Maulvi Irfan, who led the police to terror Dr. Muzammil. The arrest of Dr. Adil Ahmad Rathar, a senior resident doctor at a government medical college, Anantnag. Police recovered an AK-47 rifle from his personal locker. These are Islamist, white-collar jihadis. The whole country needs to be careful about them. His arrest then led to the arrest of another of his associates, Dr. Muzammil Shakil, faculty member of Al-Falah University, strange university where only terrorists, all these terrorists were based. A raid on the Faridabad premises of Dr. Muzammil Shakil led to the recovery of 2,900 kilograms of suspected ammonium nitrate packed into 12 suitcases. And yet when Arnab Goswami talks about Islamist terrorism, a group of people say we should be cynical about what Republic says. Let me say tonight, just as I was right about the deep state and I was proven right later, I have been proven right about Islamist terrorism. I will be proven right on white-collar jihad. Ladies and gentlemen, it was then found out that Muzammil Shakil's female friend, Dr. Shaheen, a doctor from Lucknow, was organizing the Jaish women's wing in India, known as the Jamaat-ul-Mominat. Please don't forget that on the 24th of October, an audio message was put out by Masood Azhar calling for women to join jihad, and she was leading that call. With her, a AK, Krinkhoff rifle, 3 magazines, pistol, ammunition, live cartridges, ladies and gentlemen, a dangerous terrorist with an AK-57 to boot. Now look at this man, Dr. Imanul Nabi, the man who drove the Hyundai i20. Some police say panicked, others say it was planned. Ladies and gentlemen, MBBS from Government Medical College, Srinagar, resident doctor at GMC Anantnag, having a double identity as the assistant professor at Al-Falah University. It is not wrong, it is right to name these people, to say they are Kashmiris, to say they are Islamist, to say they are using their white-collar jobs to cover their terrorism. Radicalization, ladies and gentlemen, is in the mind. Radicalization is not always by carrying an AK-57 with you, though all these people did. But these are classical examples of people radicalized to the extreme in the mind. They hate India. They hate Bharat. They are termites. They want to eat democracy by staying within this country. I can give you so many examples over the years, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the software engineer Jubair from Pune? He worked for a cyber company, transformed his coding skills into digital jihadist activities. I can remind you of Dr. Ishaq Bekab, a resident of Judgment, the head of the Al-Qaeda operations within the Indian subcontinent branch of AQIS. In fact, let's go back to 2001. Let's go back to 2001 to Afzal Guru. Ladies and gentlemen, who the pseudos, the woke, the pseudo-secular people in this country are still in love with. For whom they say, Afzalam sharminda hai, tere qatil jinda hai. A student of Srinagar Medical College, associated with the Jaish-e-Mohammed 2001, carried out a terrorist attack on the Indian Parliament, sentenced to death in 2013. Why is Omar Abdullah so quiet today? All of these people are from Kashmir, Omar. They are from Kashmir, the same state where you go to town. In the middle of the assembly, you do tamasha. You and your fellow politicians do tamasha. Every time you get a chance over Article 370, Omar only says today that I'm shocked, my condolences. He says, ladies and gentlemen, what does he say when Pahalgam happened? He said it's heartbreaking to see the exodus of our guests from the valley after the terror incident in Pahalgam. Omar Abdullah, you hypocrite. You call them guests from the valley. Didn't you say that there were Hindus killed for being Hindus? Omar Abdullah, you hypocrite. You are the same man who defended Burhan Wani. Omar Abdullah, your defense of Burhan Wani was always deeply troubling, which is why you can never be trusted. Your father can never be trusted. In 2016, he said, for all of Burhan's social media activity, I don't recall any militancy incident attributed to him while I was in office. Not sure about that. This is as stupid as Rahul Gandhi saying that he was not in action during 1984, so he did not know. By downplaying his role, Abdullah not only whitewashed Burhan Wani, but also normalized terrorism when he said Burhan isn't the first to pick up the gun and won't be the last. Ladies and gentlemen, never forget there are enough people in this country who are traitors to this nation. Never forget there is a particular journalist who won fulsome praise from Hafiz Saeed for being an ideal of journalism. She should have left the profession the day the Lashkar-e-Toiba chief praised her. And she said Burhan was the headmaster's son. Is that accidental? That by subtly supporting terrorism, by building a stupid intellectual rationalization for a terrorist called Burhan Wani, you win before and after fulsome praise from the Lashkar-e-Toiba chief. Go to Pakistan, get a medal from Hafiz Saeed. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are the people who won't be loud today. They'll go undercover for the next 4 days. These fake secular vadis, these frauds, these hypocrites like Mehbooba Mufti. During Pahalgam, when there was a proper crackdown on the OGWs, when I called them terror associates, when the army was blowing up their houses, she said the houses of the common man were also demolished. The houses of the common man were also demolished along with the houses of the terrorists. The houses of the common man should not be demolished. Who's the common man? Tell me, Mehbooba Mufti, don't be a complete hypocrite, which I know you are. Were they common men who kidnapped your sister when your father was the Home Minister of India? Were they common men, the Aam Aadmi? These are intellectual frauds, intellectual interlopers, ladies and gentlemen. This is also the same Mehbooba who defended Burhan Wani, who said, I believe that had they known he was there, he would have been given one chance as the situation was fast improving in the state. She wanted one more chance for the terrorist. Why am I saying this today? Because I believe that this is the time to remember that white-collar jihad is not a figment of Arnab's imagination. It is the truth. But now I want you to see the faces of these people. And I want us to remove the sheaths, the muslin cloths of explanation and rationalization behind the conspirators. I want India to know that it is under threat from these people who believe in Ghazwa-e-Hind, who want to turn this nation into an Islamic country. These people who are intolerant. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of these people are there? And how many people knew about what they were doing? What happened in Chandni Chowk was not an action of 4 people. I believe it wasn't. You know it wasn't. This nation needs to fight a united battle against white-collar jihad. This is the time for the nation to act collectively and together as we wait for the government to duly respond. Duly respond. Let's debate.
24 hours since the Delhi blast. And forensic teams are pushing forward to piece the picture from whatever is left in the aftermath. Reports suggest that forensic examination has established a direct link between the Red Fort blast and the Faridabad terror module.
Meticulous evidence gathering is happening, and some of it is already coming out in public domain. And so this is clear that the threads and the links of the Delhi blast reach right up to the Pakistan doorsteps via the Faridabad module, and of course Dr. Adil and the entire terror machine of Jaish-e-Mohammed operating out of Jammu and Kashmir and specifically the valley.
This comes just a day after nearly 3 tons of ammonium nitrate and explosive IED materials were recovered from rooms rented by terror Dr. Muzammil Shakil in Dodge village. It all started when his accomplice, terror Dr. Adil, was arrested last month by the J&K police, when CCTV footage emerged of him pasting Jaish-e-Mohammed poster in Srinagar. The same Jaish-e-Mohammed of Masoor Azhar, whose family members were neutralized during India's strikes at Jaish HQ at Bahawalpur during Operation Sindoor.
This is Faridabad Hauja, and this is exactly the same room from where the Faridabad crime branch has been since morning conducting searches in teams. And this area till now, let me tell you, till more than 5 to 10 minutes ago was completely cordoned off. We were not allowed inside, and there were extensive searches going on. But now we are showing you the exact spot from where the material, explosive material, has been seized.
Once Adil was picked up by the police, he soon revealed the name of his accomplice, terror Dr. Muzammil, who taught at Al-Falah University in Faridabad, which led to the discovery of the explosive materials. The Jammu and Kashmir police had been on high alert over the last 2 months. Reports indicated an impending terror incident. As per police sources, the suicide bomber terrorist Dr. Umar Nabi last visited J&K last month in October. He reportedly carried out a recce in Awantipur, but high alert averted any untoward incident. When the J&K police hunt began of Dr. Umar, they reached out to his family. They claim they did not know about his whereabouts.
तो उमर है, ये क्या काम करते थे और वो ये कब कश्मीर से बाहर चले गए थे?
वो वहाँ जॉब करता था, एज अ प्रोफेसर वहाँ पढ़ाता था।
तो इन्होंने क्या कहा था वापस लौटने का, कभी वापस लौट आएंगे?
हाँ, आते थे ना, बीच बीच में घर आते थे। घर कौन नहीं आना चाहेगा? आता था बीच बीच में, लेकिन आधा घंटा या दिन भर रहते थे बस।
Umar never came home and instead was absconding since the Faridabad raid.
When the raids were being conducted at the Al-Falah University, Umar Nabi, the terror doctor, the car bomber, leaves in his car. He scampers, he panics, he leaves in his car, he takes this route, he takes the highway, and in the highway he passes the Badarpur toll booth. At 8:04, CCTV catches him crossing the Badarpur toll booth. That's 8:04 a.m. yesterday. And then at 8:20, his car, the I-20, passes the Okla industrial area. After 8:20, he was next spotted at 3:19 p.m. parking his car at the Red Fort parking lot. And at 6:40, around 6:40, not 6 but 6:48, we are told, there is a video of him leaving the the parking lot, and you can see that he has his face covered. That's Umar, the man behind the wheel, the car bomber in Delhi.
The hunt for Dr. Umar Nabi began around 10 a.m. CCTV footage now reveals how he slowly trouted through the capital all day yesterday, before the I-20 car he was driving exploded outside the Red Fort metro station's gate number 1 at 6:50 p.m. Not just that, another terror doctor arrested in the case, Dr. Shaheen, another doctor of the Al-Falah University and believed to be the girlfriend of the terror mastermind, Dr. Muzammil, was notably named the India head of Jaish-e-Mohammed's new women's wing, Jamaat-ul-Mominat.
मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं। सबसे बड़ा मोहम्मद शुएब जो मेरे साथ रहता है। सेकंड जो है शाहीन, जो आप बता रहे हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन मुझे यकीन नहीं, भाई यकीन नहीं हो रहा है जो बात है। थर्ड है डॉक्टर परवेज, वो इंटीग्रल में, वो तो लखनऊ में है भाई। शाहीन की शादी हो गई है, उनके पति जो हैं महाराष्ट्र के हैं, मेरे पास एड्रेस नहीं है।
The Pakistani footprint is clear. A new ISI modus operandi of recruiting white-collared professionals like doctors to fly under the radar of our forces. And yet, the lobby in India resists a nationwide crackdown on terror amid concerning rise in radicalization. Little over 6 months since Operation Sindoor, Pakistan and Jaish are back to pushing terror. The question is it time for India to begin a nationwide crackdown on radicalization?
Ladies and gentlemen, Gaurav Bhatia of the BJP, Ratan Sharda and Madhav Nalapata are with us tonight on the subject of white-collar jihad. Anmol Pawar of the Aam Aadmi Party is with me in the studio. Atikur Rahman, Abid Mir Megami, Muslim scholar and Kashmiri activist of the Congress Party, and Pula Rao are joining us as well. Thank you very much. Now, white-collar jihad, it's a reality. But that's a sophisticated name. This is Islamist, jihadi terrorism. Islamist, jihadi terrorism. These are people, Abid Mir Megami, who hate India but want to sit inside India shamelessly. They hate India. They hate Bharat. They say, Bharat tere tukde honge, inshallah, inshallah. But idhar hi baithe rahenge, Abid Mir Megami. And now, Gaurav Bhatia, I hope that your government will really act against them, not after the incident, but before future incidents. I hope that you will find out why Al-Falah University became a center of terrorism. I hope you find out who is funding Al-Falah University. I hope you'll go deep into the details and not react later, but before incidents like this happen. Because somewhere, Gaurav, had you been tough and not tried to be politically correct, live and let live, ji aur jeene do wala jo approach thoda sa ho gaya hai BJP ka after 11 years in power. Thoda moderate line. This moderate line does not work in India if you have to solve India's internal security problem.
लोगों को मरने दो और खुद जो है विमान में घूमो. ये हो गया इनका.
Can he be quiet?
Gaurav Bhatia. Let me open with Gaurav Bhatia. Let me open with Gaurav Bhatia, please. Thank you. Let me open. Then we debate this.
When a super serious, super sensitive discussion starts with political comments, the nation realizes how low the opposition has stooped. So let me start by first offering deepest condolences to all the family members who have lost their dear ones. And Arnab, let me also say this very clearly. Narendra Modi ji has given a very strong statement, and the strong statement is always, there is a 100% guarantee followed by very strong action. Like we saw after the Pahalgaon attack, Narendra Modi ji made a very strong statement. Operation Sindoor happened. And the mantra of this government, Arnab, unlike the UPA government, is that Bharat jiyega, Bhartiya jiyenge, atakvadi mare jayenge. So I can assure you that if you contrast also, after the 26/11 attack, Shivraj Patil, the then Home Minister, was changing his suits 3 times in one day. But Amit Shah ji, as a very responsible, strong Home Minister of the country, rushed to the spot. He is having high-level meetings with all the forces of the country. And I believe in my Prime Minister like any other citizen and in my Home Minister. And I know for a fact that neither would the terrorists be spared, nor would the bosses of these terrorists be spared. But let us also come to the main moot question that you were raising. 2 propagandas of the opposition have been busted. The first, you remember Rahul Gandhi saying ISIS-like organizations come up because of unemployment. So today when we see the accused persons being very educated, having jobs, secure financially, indulging in such activities, it busts the myth and the propaganda of the Congress, Rahul Gandhi, Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav, that unemployment has nothing to do with the acts of terrorism. Second, they always say Muslims are being targeted in the country. So today, yes, I can also say not all Muslims of the country are terrorists, but it is a harsh fact that needs to be called out on your channel that all the accused persons shown on your television today are Muslims.
Oh.
Therefore, I ask Asaduddin Owaisi. I ask Abu
he's
Azmi.
making a point
I ask
tonight.
All India
We need to debate that.
Law Board. Where are they?
We need to debate that.
No, Arnab, this is a very fundamental point I'm making.
Yes, please.
Allow me to complete my point. Today, as an Indian, I appeal Asaduddin Owaisi, All India Muslim Personal Law Board, as well as all the Muslims who love the Tiranga, the Constitution of India and our country, should come out on roads and protest and ostracize these people who defame their religion also and who take innocent lives of the citizens. And why don't we have these candle marches now, Arnab? Where are these people? Why not 100,000 Muslims on the street of every city of India saying that these people are not our own? They should be hanged till death. Where are every, organization who come out on opposition of CA, NRC, SIR? Why are they not?
Ladies and gentlemen, I will intervene to ask one question tonight, a point which Gaurav Bhatia has made at the start of the debate must be mentioned. He says all Muslims are not terrorists. Nobody said so. But Dr. Umar-un-Nabi, Abid Mir Magami, Atikur Rahman is a Muslim. Dr. Adil Ahmad Rathar is a Muslim. Dr. Shaheen Shaheed, Al-Falah University, Jaish-e-Mohammed Women's Wing, traitor, betrayer, is a Muslim. Dr. Muzammil Shakil, Kashmiri doctor, Kashmiri Muslim, Muslim and Kashmiri and Muslim. ये सब चीजें छुपाई नहीं जा सकती. We can't say, oh, don't say. We'll say. Dr. Ahmad Mohiuddin Saeed, 35-year-old MBBS doctor from Hyderabad, hates India, hates Bharat, is a Muslim. He wanted to put a ricin poisoning in Gandhinagar, Ahmedabad, is a Muslim. Gaurav Bhatia says we have to debate the fact that they are all Muslim. Atikur Rahman, he says rightly so. They're all Muslim and they all hate India. They are all Muslim and they all hate Bharat. They're all Muslim and they want to kill people. I don't know what their ideology is, but are they not Muslim and do they all not hate India?
Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, my head lies in shame that these white-collar professionals named Muslims are involved in such nefarious designs to undermine our democratic process, our constitutional process. And
what constitutional process and democratic process? They are terrorists. Don't use soft language for them. Don't use soft language. Are you describing them like political activists? Be careful of the language you use. You're trying to build a dangerous ideological justification for these people. How dare you talk like that? How dare you say they're trying to disturb the constitutional protest? They're terrorists. Call them terrorists. Stop using this language anymore in my country.
Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the language used after Pahalgam when they said, oh, I'm sorry that some people died in Pahalgam, but, generally, they must be nice people as well. They're good people. They got carried away. They're like Afzal Guru. Like an attempt is made. Kasav is but a small teenage boy misled, who needs protests and claps outside central Delhi by the woke group. Dekhiye, be very careful of every word, Atikur Rahman. Mood in the country is very different now. Don't build even remotely an attempt, use language.
Thank you to remind me.
Don't use language. They are disturbing the democratic process.
Let's respond to Atikur Rahman.
What kind of language is this, Gaurav? Why is Atikur Rahman trying to get away with such language? Gaurav.
Since you referred to Pahalgam, all these people who sympathize with terrorists, Arnab should remember India under Narendra Modi ji is a very strong nation. Operation Sindoor happened, and you remember, we only seized the operation. It's not over yet. And every
No,
Indian
what
has a
about
firm
Operation
belief
Sindoor against the traitors within India?
unity with
What
all
about
our might.
Operation Sindoor against traitors within India?
Yeah, I'm coming to
What about that? What about that? When will that happen?
What about the accountability of the government?
Let me address
The
that.
accountability of the
Atikur
government.
Rahman.
When did that happen?
Atikur Rahman.
When
No,
did
no,
that
one,
happen?
let Atikur finish with him then here.
Atikur Rahman, as an Indian, I ask you another question. Atikur, can you just say on Republic, Zakir Naik is a terrorist? Zakir Naik is anti-India. Atikur Rahman, my question is to you. An Indian...
Corner him. Corner Atikur tonight.
Since you were
Corner him.
that your head hangs in shame. Please, Atikur, answer that.
He
Can
won't
you
answer.
say Zakir Naik is a terrorist and he is anti-India?
He won't
Can
say.
you
He
that?
won't say. He will ask you first. You
Please
say
say
Godse
that.
was a terrorist. It's a standard line, यार. इनको बोलना नहीं है. ये डरते हैं सच्चाई बोलने से. He's a Zakir Naik fan. This man, Atikur, is a fan of Zakir Naik.
How is silent now? Pura India.
Silent, looking left, right.
Silent. He's silent now.
Silent right now.
I'm looking.
And he
straight
was
to
hanging
the
his head
camera,
in shame.
And
So,
I
Arnab,
urge
now
the
you know where
government
the
of
termites
India-
are? Now you know where the termites are? No, Zakir Naik, can you say that he is a terrorist? Can you say that? Just to inspire confidence
I urge
of
the
every
government
Indian.
of India
That you
to
would
bring
go
Zakir
by
Naik
the bond
and try
of
him
Tiranga and not by the bond of your religion.
anti-terror laws.
Please, see,
I have no
that.
sympathy with any Indian Muslim.
We don't have to take your
try
permission
to
for that,
convey
Mr.
the message of
Zakir
terrorism.
Naik.
And
don't
thank
have to
you
take
to
your
remind
permission for
me
that.
that all these
name is
terrorist
Zakir Naik.
elements by the name
happens
of
to be the twin
Muslims
brother of Zakir
should be
Naik.
tried.
I will
under the
mention
harsh-
tonight. I want to mention tonight, for truth will be told, for truth will be told, and it is not told on any other Indian media group, it will be told on Republic, and the truth will be told. The truth will be told only on Republic, and what is the truth? Let me share with you.
I will under no
Let me share with you. Let me share with you.
convey the message of terrorism.
Let me share with
This is my country. I love India.
Oh, I love India. Oh, I love India.
The people of India under no.
I love a man who says I love Zakir Naik
India,
cannot say I love India. A man who is a fan of Zakir Naik does not love India. A man who's a fan of Zakir Naik hates India.
This motherland of mine will under
The
no
be calling it a motherland comes with the responsibility of taking a position against terrorist supporters.
Organizations should be dealt with the harshest of the harsh punishment by our
Nonsense.
security
Then just say Bharat Mata ki Jai. You just said it's your motherland. Say Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Bharat Mata ki Jai,
You will not
Vande
say that.
Mataram.
Arnab, do you
Bharat
now
Mata ki
see?
Jai, Vande
Say
Mataram.
Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Have I made myself clear?
Zakir Naik आतंकी है
Bharat
जाकिर
Mata
नायक
ki Jai,
आतंकी है बोलिए
Vande Mataram.
जाकिर नायक
Our
आतंकी है
security forces should be dealing
जाकिर नायक आतंकी है बोलिए जरा नहीं
The
बोले
cover has been used
Arnab,
by people for too
Arnab,
long. No, 1 minute.
people are the
Let me explain to all the viewers on Republic.
stand with terrorists.
Let me explain to the viewers of Republic. Madhav Nalapad, Ratan Sharda, I see you all getting restless tonight. Let me tell you, I am restless tonight. 1 minute. I am more restless than all of you tonight. 1 minute, Anmol. I am more restless than all of you tonight because as a journalist, sometimes we have a lot of access to information. And I want to say tonight that I don't put out 90% of what I know for legal reasons. We have as much information as intel agencies, sometimes more. So when people say, you're a journalist, who are you to represent India? Well, I know the pulse of my nation better than any politician. I know the pulse of my nation better than any politician. What are you saying? What are you saying?
I say that it is a massive intelligence failure, it's a massive law and order failure, it's a massive security failure. Today, when borders are under the BJP control, border security forces under their control, coastal forces under their control, intelligence agencies are under their control, home ministry is under their control, home ministry and also the Delhi police is under their control. Despite that, this massive blast took place, which is an attack on the very soul of our country. And it is the time to fix accountability. आज इस सरकार से पूछने की जरूरत है, आज इस सरकार से पूछने की जरूरत है जो कहती थी कि every act of terror will be considered as an act of war. आज इनकी पाकिस्तान के साथ सेटिंग हो गई, इसीलिए पाकिस्तान का नाम नहीं लेना चाहते. ये जो कागजी शेर हैं, इनकी हिम्मत नहीं है नाम लेने की. When even the links are surfacing with the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the nation, the people across the country, are very loud and clear that the nation is not in the safe hands. India does not deserve a part-time home minister. India does not deserve a part-time prime minister who's busy in campaigning. आज जब देश पेन में है तो मोदी जी प्लेन में है. आज भूटान में वो जन्मदिन मना रहे हैं. जब पुलवामा हुआ उस समय वो फोटो शूट करा रहे थे. जब पहलगाम हुआ.
I want to remind everyone tonight without shouting. Thank you very much. Thank you. You made your point. You need your point. This is the Republic Studio, not Aam Aadmi Party morcha you're addressing.
This is a failure
now, please.
Of central government.
My point tonight
People
is.
People are living in fear.
Why are you shouting here?
This is a security
Speak normally.
failure.
Speak normally. The mic is working. The mic is working.
The mic is working.
The question is.
People are in anger, Arnab ji.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have failed.
You represent nobody. You don't. You absolutely don't. You do not represent the Aam Aadmi. You're a politician. You're a politician. आप नेता है. आप नेता है. You're a politician. You're a 1 minute.
140 करोड़ लोगों की बात रखने की.
चिल्लाइए मत.
140 करोड़ लोगों के सवाल पूछेंगे.
Why are you shouting like that? Why are you behaving in an undignified way right now on the program? मुझे जो पूछना होगा मैं पूछूंगा, मगर आप ऐसे चिल्लाइए मत. It hurts my ear. It hurts my ear. When you shout like that, my eustachian tubes will burst. But it hurts my ear. Be quiet. One sec, Gaurav, before you respond. It hurts my ear. I would like to call my ENT doctor to save me. My ENT doctor to save me from the bellowing of an unstoppable politician from the Aam Aadmi Party, a failed political party. Now listen to me. My question here is this now. Just 1 minute.
The BJP.
Oh God! This is intolerable. I need earphones, earplugs, ladies and gentlemen. Doctors should be called on the program tonight to save me.
Who has failed in protecting the Indians?
But the problem is, I can't even. 1 minute. My question is, Gaurav Bhatia, be quiet. Please don't shout for a minute. This is exactly the same way. Gaurav, 1 minute. This is exactly the same way in which Anmol used to shout after Pahalgam and before the first attack on Operation Sindoor, and then he used to shout like that, and when we hit them out there, then this very man Anmol went hiding. He went hiding then. You went hiding then. You went hiding. When Narendra Modi and Ajit Doval attacked Pakistan, you went hiding. You are a political opportunist.
अगर सीज़फायर कबूल नहीं किया होता
आप वही you are the JNU party आप
नहीं है देश के प्रधानमंत्री की कि पाकिस्तान का नाम ले सके. ये बीजेपी के कायर लोग, ये कागजी शेर, इनकी हिम्मत नहीं है.
Thank you, ladies.
ये बताएं कि जैश-ए-मोहम्मद
अरे पागल आदमी है ये, क्या बोल रहा है अर्नब? चुप कराइए इसे. कबीर आदमी को
बताइए.
हटिया कहीं का बकवास कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे बैठे. बकवास सुनेंगे.
अनमोल
अरे सिख फॉर जस्टिस का रुपया लेते हो.
Anmol, stop. Anmol, the debate is to
हटिया आदमी बकवास कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे.
Keep it away.
कोकराझार में हमला हुआ.
नहीं पहले तो
sit down.
पुलवामा में हमला हुआ.
You got your notes.
कोटा में हमला हुआ. जम्मू बस स्टैंड पे हमला हुआ. दंतेवाड़ा में हमला हुआ.
You got to stop.
हमला हुआ.
तमीज से बात करो.
Take him off air.
किसकी सरकार थी देश में?
He's reading WhatsApp. He's reading WhatsApp.
भाजपा की सरकार थी.
Thank you, Anmol.
और 11 साल से आतंकवादी हमले लगातार जारी हैं.
Thank you, Anmol.
किसका फेलियर है? पार्ट टाइम होम मिनिस्टर का फेलियर है.
Thank you.
पार्ट टाइम प्राइम मिनिस्टर का फेलियर है.
Anmol, thank you.
जिसे इलेक्शन कैंपेन से फुर्सत नहीं है.
Anmol, slow down.
जिसे सरकार गिराने से फुर्सत नहीं है.
Anmol, slow down.
जिसे चुनाव में प्रचार करने से फुर्सत नहीं है.
Thank you.
When will we fix the accountability?
This is very unfair. I feel there is.
When will we fix the accountability?
terrorist in your.
This is why your party loses an election.
सरकार की जवाबदेही कब देखी जाएगी?
This is why your party loses.
That is the reason.
This is why you've come down to this level. Gaurav Bhatia is on the debate. Gaurav Bhatia and others on the debate. When you stop shouting, when you stop shouting, when you stop shouting, my ear is hurting. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. आप लोग क्या हो? You're a marketing agency. You're a marketing agency.
पाकिस्तान के सामने.
Gaurav, now you're not on air, so it won't help. Two windows, Gaurav Bhatia. Two windows, Gaurav Bhatia, take me off air. And take these two on air. Gaurav Bhatia. Now you're not on it.
Arnab,
Gaurav Bhatia, louder. Volume down. Cut down.
By the Papi
Thank you.
Aap Pravakta. And let me remind the Papi Aap Pravakta first. Arvind Kejriwal has taken funds from Seek for Justice, which is a banned organization which wants to divide our country, and the Seek for Justice organization itself has said that they gave funds to Arvind Kejriwal. Having said that, नरेंद्र मोदी जी वो 56 इंच की छाती रखते हैं कि 72 हुरों के पास इन आतंकियों को पहुंचाएंगे। पाकिस्तान की बात करते हो, पाकिस्तान को अभी ठोका है, आगे भी ठोकेंगे, इतने टुकड़े करेंगे पाकिस्तानी खुद नहीं गिन पाएंगे। और मुझे बताना है गर्व से, उरी हुआ सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक्स हुई, अगर पुलवामा हुआ तो बालाकोट एयर स्ट्राइक हुई, पहलगाम हुआ तो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हुआ। और मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूं एक फर्क, ये है यासीन मलिक। मनमोहन सिंह जब प्रधानमंत्री थे उनसे गले मिलता था, हाथ पिलाता था, और ये है नरेंद्र मोदी जी के कार्यकाल में बालों से पकड़ के घसीटा, आज जेल की सलाखों के पीछे है। और ये जो दरिंदे हैं इनको भी छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा। लेकिन राहुल गांधी, अखिलेश यादव, अरविंद केजरीवाल, ममता बनर्जी जो टेररिस्ट का धर्म देख के उनको वोट बैंक समझती हैं और भारत को दीमक की तरह खाती हैं, पहले इनसे निपटना होगा। आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा और देश की जनता आज कह रही है, अगर मैं हिंदू हूं और अगर एक आतंकवादी अपने आप को हिंदू बताता है तो बार लात मारूंगा और कहूंगा मेरे धर्म का दुष्प्रचार मत करो। लेकिन आज मुसलमान भाई जो हमारे हैं उनको निकलना पड़ेगा और कहना पड़ेगा ऐसे जिहादियों की कोई जगह नहीं है। 100 बार कहना पड़ेगा जाकिर नायक आतंकी है, 100 बार कहना पड़ेगा बुरहान वानी कोई हीरो नहीं है, जैसा उमर अब्दुल्ला ने कहा था बुरहान वानी आतंकी है। अफजल गुरु की न्यायिक हत्या नहीं हुई, वो एक आतंकी है। जब तक ये बदलाव
which came up in the information which reached our news desk some time back, it was told to us, and this was a new bit of information which came out, which is a matter of great concern. I want to call Professor Madhav Nalapad forward and Abid Mir Mogami and Pulla Rao forward. You see who was masterminding all this. Some Muslim clerics were masterminding this. Now we can't hide this information, Professor Nalapad. There's a cleric from Shopia, Maulvi Irfan Ahmed. There's a Muslim cleric from Mewat. Muslim clerics should be doing some religious work, no? Abid? What kind of religious work is organizing a terrorist attack? Why are so many Muslim clerics getting involved in terrorism? Why was the Red Fort terror attack organized by Muslim clerics, carried out by radical Muslims? What is going on? Why? What goes on inside their mind? Why do these people carry out acts of terrorism? Abid. And why does the Congress party, your party, not do a nationwide campaign against Muslim radicalization? Why does your party, the Congress party, not carry out a campaign against Islamist terrorism? You know, Muslims will also be happy if you carry out this campaign, I'm sure. Why don't you do that? Why don't you make it a nationwide issue? Because it is the biggest problem for the country now, Islamist terrorism, right?
I'm not representing Congress here, please. As a Kashmiri activist, I'm here. Well, let me finish. सबसे पहले मैं जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस को बधाई देता हूं, जिसने इतने बड़े टेरर मॉड्यूल को बेनकाब किया। और दिल्ली सरकार उसके बाद भी सिक्योरिटी लैप्स करती है। उनको तो सीख लेनी चाहिए थी जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस से। उन्होंने किस काबिलियत से इतने बड़े टेररिस्ट मॉड्यूल को पकड़ा, इतनी बड़ी क्षमता में आरडीएक्स पकड़ा, और उसके बाद भी लाल किले पे रेड फोर्ट के सामने ब्लास्ट होती है। सिक्योरिटी किस तरह लैप्स हुआ? होम मिनिस्ट्री कहां थी? हमारी एजेंसीज कहां थे? अगर पता था कि इस तरीके से मॉड्यूल पकड़ा गया, इतनी तादाद में
अभी तो सबको पकड़ेंगे मगर आप आबिद मीर मगामी रोना बंद करेंगे जब ओजीडब्ल्यू को बाल से पकड़ के थप्पड़ मार के जेल के अंदर रखा जाएगा तब आप रोना धोना बंद करेंगे तो बहुत लोगों को पकड़ेंगे ओजीडब्ल्यू स्लीपर सेल। आप नंबर 1 आदमी है गौरव भाटिया, रतन शारदे नंबर 1 है, आके टीवी पे आके रोते हैं। ये नंबर 1 आदमी है जो ओजीडब्ल्यू को पकड़ा जाता है तो कहते हैं इनोसेंट पीपल आर बीइंग कॉट।
Yes.
You will never touch the real issue. Touch the real issue. Real issue is I'll just ask one question to you. Do you disown the doctrine of turning Darul Harb into Darul Islam? Just tell me this. Will you say I deny conversion of Darul Harb into Darul Islam, a non-Muslim state to a Muslim state? First say that. Because that is the fundamental theory of Islam.
Ratan Sharda, louder.
Because in your heart is supported. So you must come to the hub of the matter. Hub of the matter is the religious teaching by the clerics is so radical that anybody who attends those sessions will become radical. So why blame a particular few people? Today we are into post-doctoral terror, clinical terror, and here we're crying about isko nahi pakda, usko nahi pakda. Hundreds of preventive arrests were made in Faridabad the same day. The same person who burst the bomb in Red Fort was the same person who ran away from Faridabad. So can't we understand? But for this intervention, 3,000 kg of explosive materials captured by the police. But did you open your mouth? You did not.
JeM police.
Whether you accept Darul Harb to Darul Islam or not, आप ये बताइए। फिर बात करिए, फालतू बात मत करिए, फालतू बात मत करिए, क्योंकि ये प्रॉब्लम खाली इंडिया का नहीं है, सारी दुनिया में आपके लोगों ने नरक बना के रखा है कि हम इसको दारुल इस्लाम बनाएंगे, हम शरिया लागू करेंगे। खाली हिंदुस्तान में हो रहा है क्या? हिंदुस्तान में 10 बहाने बनाएंगे, वहां पर क्या करेंगे जहां पर सारे दुनिया भर में हो रहा है। इसलिए जब तक ये डिसाइड करिए क्या मक्का वाले प्रॉफिट की बात को मानेंगे जो पैसिफिस्ट था, लिबरल था, जिसने कहा कि योर रिलीजन टू यू, माय रिलीजन टू मी, और आप उसको मानेंगे जो मक्का के बाद में सारे युद्ध जीतकर प्रॉफिट बाहर आए।
Now one, thank you, Ratan Sharda. 1 minute. Why my question goes here? My question goes here to Professor Madhav Nalapat. Professor Madhav Nalapat. The question here is Professor Madhav Nalapat. Professor Madhav Nalapat. The question is. Today, I am also very disappointed with the response from Kashmir. Mehbooba Mufti was always more worried about the families of the separatists. She was sympathizing for Burhan Wani. She wanted a chance for Afzal Guru. She was mourning the death of Hassan Nasrallah of the Hezbollah. She blamed Pulwama terror attack on the government of India, on its muscular approach. Today, the fact is, Professor Nalapat, the Kashmiri political establishment has chosen to be quiet.
Yeah.
When all the people carrying out this act of terrorism, most of them are from Kashmir and they are Kashmiri Muslims. They are radicalized Kashmiri Muslims, a point which must be emphasized, not underemphasized, to be fake secular. We'll become fake secular if we don't say that they are radicalized Kashmiri Muslim. There is an attempt in this country इनको Kashmiri Muslim मत कहो, मगर है तो है कि नहीं है? Professor Nalapat, please.
Yeah, look, Arnab, first of all, I'd like to point out that when the Kargil operation took place to retake the Kargil Heights, the Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, they were the first to charge up the mountain, and they were shouting at the top of their voices, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And the Pakistanis on Kargil, they thought that they were fellow sympathizers and they held their fire and they were mowed down.
Lots of shots.
And they chants of Allahu Akbar, they basically made sure that the Kargil was cleared of these Pakistan invaders. The fact of the matter is, Arnab, the reality of the situation is that very, very clearly, there are definitely terror cells active throughout India. There's no doubt about that. And I think the reason is that if you look at the dark web, you will see terrible, very terrible, completely false reports coming out about the situation in India. The reports that are coming are said that in street by street, house by house almost, people are being killed. just because they belong to a minority faith, which frankly is not true. So the reality is that there's something we cannot...
These people saw because they lie. Because they lie. They are liars. They are liars like that Zohrab Mamdani, who these people make an idol. He's himself a radicalized Muslim. Zohrab Mamdani says that people are surprised that he's alive because he's a Gujarati Muslim. Zohrab Mamdani goes around telling the whole world that because he's a Gujarati Muslim, he's lucky to be alive, because there are none of them alive after the riots. He's a liar of the first order. He's an intellectual interloper. He's a hypocrite. But the fact of the matter is, we must talk about Islamic terrorism. We must talk about Islamic radicalization. Right before Pahalgam, the National Conference member of parliament said this is cultural invasion. When terrorists came to Kashmir, he said, "Ye jo chal raha hai, wo meri nazar mein tourism nahi hai, cultural invasion hai, by purpose, by design." So he's part of the plan to kill people in Pahalgam, I think.
Look, I just want to tell you one thing.
Look.
I want to tell you, Arnab, please, that I was totally opposed to National Conference and to the Mehbooba Mufti's party joining any national alliance. And frankly,
but the government has compromised. The government has called out elections and given these people an entry into the political mainstream that they should never have done. It's one of the mistakes of the Modi government to give them political legitimacy. The Modi government has made a mistake. Now at last
it's being realized, and Article 370 was a sign of that. And that is...
So that was our mistake. That was the mistake of the Modi government to try and call elections, have an alliance, allow someone to come into power, to support Omar Abdullah is the biggest mistake.
In any part of the country, we have only one nation, one Bharat, and one people. And there cannot be two nations in Bharat. Only one nation under the tricolor, Arnab.
Anyway, the fact is that these are all sympathizers of terrorists. I think a crackdown on Islamist terrorism and the supporters of Islamist terrorism is the #1 necessity in this country. As important as removing Maoist terror. We're not taking it seriously. Pula.
Well, I'm very glad. I agree with what Mr. Madhav said or what Mr. Bhatia said. Nobody wants it. But there's a very simple question which everybody has been trying to raise. Where is the government? Where is the government? Please tell us. I am not repeating what my new friend said and other thing. There is public feels there has been complacency, there has been failure. Unless you recognize it, you're not going to rectify it. 2001, September 11, first time they went and attacked, foreigners attacked World Trade Towers. After that, the American government and American agencies took a resolution, no foreigner will enter and do a terrorist act in USA. And they succeeded. They succeeded. Since that day, nobody has entered from outside. Why can't, and this is not an argument to put on anyone. There has been an action for government, Mr. Madhav. Please tell us, somebody puts 2,000 kilos of nitrate, goes around...
Yeah, how did this happen, Gaurav? Everyone's asking this question. You are going on saying that you did a great thing by finding out, but the fact is, how was 3,000 kilograms? Is there a Geo or Jine do, live and let live, thoda sa moderate ban jate hain, thoda middle of the road line le jate hain, let us all become peaceful? No, I am asking you here, Gaurav, what happened to the hard state the BJP promised? You told BJP supporters you will be a hard state. Are you a hard state?
Yeah.
Are you a hard 11? Al-Falah University is still... No. You promised a hard state. Have you become a soft party? Or have you become a moderate party?
Okay.
With the hard line only to be used before the election?
Yes. So I will answer your question, very pertinent, but before that, a fact check. For a panelist to say that the Kargil war was won by Muslim soldiers making a war cry of Allahu Akbar is factually incorrect. All the regiments
Which of you said that?
Indian Army were involved and they were making war cries of their regiment and not Allahu Akbar. So I correct that. But now let me come to the main point. Zero tolerance for terror. That has been the policy. And every time, if anybody has...
No, but why was that said that Indian soldiers were saying Allahu Akbar to go to war? Why did he say that? You see, there's an intent behind why he said
That is because he's trying to again provide. Yeah, he said it for a reason. Because the harsh reality, the dirty face of certain fundamentalists who say that they profess Islam is coming out. So he's trying to give a cover, a shield to them. He's trying to eulogize that. And that is going to have a problem with. Arnab, but let me say this.
Continue. Gaurav, continue.
Beat mein mat boliye. Beat mein mat boliye.
Let Professor Nalapat.
I just want to say, Arnab, Pahalgam was mentioned.
Explain this.
Do you remember? There are two facts.
A fact check, Arnab.
Please, be quiet.
A fact check.
Be quiet.
Is Professor Nalapat lying?
Yeah, his turn will come.
Don't change.
Pahalgam terror attack. These sympathizers of terrorists came out and then they said, one, terror has no religion. Arnab, it is very clear all over the globe. Most of the terrorists, almost 99%, happen to be propagating one religion. And second, they said the targets or the victims were never asked their religion. That also is not correct. During Pahalgam, Hindus were identified mostly and then they were slaughtered. They were murdered. And that is a hard fact. So this, mixing untrue facts with certain realities is not correct. We have to call a spade a spade. And intelligence agencies have done an excellent job by ensuring that 22 terror attacks are foiled before they are executed in the last 6 months. In the last 6 months, the intelligence agencies have foiled 22 terror attacks that were planned against.
Why has your government not yet named Islam? I want to ask you, why the caution in naming Pakistan when everybody knows?
Because a thorough investigation is going on. A thorough investigation.
You said an act of terrorism is an act of war. This is an act of terrorism. Pakistan has therefore, by your own definition, carried out an act of war. Don't avoid my question. Your Prime Minister said an act of terrorism is an act of war. Pakistan has carried out an act of terrorism. Using the Prime Minister's logic, what is our response to the act of war from Pakistan?
So tomorrow, the Honorable Prime Minister would be chairing a high-level meeting and you will come to know the strong response of our country. If Narendra Modi ji has said an act of terrorism is an act of war, the Bharatiya Janata Party government will stand by those words. I make it very clear, Arnab.
Make it short. Make it short.
On behalf
Don't
of
shout.
140 crore Indians, I have a few questions for you.
No, one question.
How did this happen? How did all the intelligence agencies fail? How did the explosive reach the national capital? Who is responsible for this? And will anyone resign for this?
Okay, now you ask. Thank you. Gaurav.
Specific answer.
Thank you, sir. Please, now, let him answer. Thank you.
So Arvind Kejriwal and Arvind Kejriwal's party do not have the locus to ask this question because you get funded by terrorists.
Are we not Indians?
But I will assure the people of the country.
Are we not Indians?
Responsibility.
Why can't we ask questions?
Don't speak in between.
If
you want to be
140 crore Indians are asking these questions,
uncouth, indisciplined, I cannot engage with you. Don't behave like a terrorist yourself, please.
Okay, you okay?
Okay. Now, God of louder, God. No, okay, ladies and gentlemen, no, you're not representing Desh ke Aadmi. You're not representing Desh ke Aam Aadmi.
Saifullah, भाजपा का आतंकवादी. तालिब हुसैन शाह, भाजपा का आतंकवादी. ध्रुव सक्सेना, भाजपा का आतंकवादी.
गौरव भाटिया,
मैं खालिस्तान का प्रधानमंत्री बनूंगा. यहाँ पे आके आप ज्ञान देंगे हमें. अरविंद केजरीवाल आपके टुच्चे लीडर खालिस्तान के.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On the debate tonight, we await the results of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is going to be having a high-level meeting, and as Gaurav Bhatia said there, we'll only follow this after the high-level meeting. I appeal to everyone tonight to believe the words of the Prime Minister. An act of terrorism is an act of war. By definition, by execution, and by proof, this has been an act of terrorism, and therefore an act of war by Pakistan. We await our government's response to the act of war by the enemy state of Pakistan. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies over 200 years.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Hello and welcome you. You're watching a very special episode of Republic Defense. As India prepares for its tri-services exercise, one of the largest tri-services exercise that has been going on for the last few days, Republic Defense has got insight, depth coverage that we are getting, in-depth coverage that we're getting you from the western borders as the final leg of exercise Trishul is underway in the scorching deserts of Rajasthan. In fact, India's war machines roll out in perfect synchrony. From the skies to the sand, the nation's might is now being tested and validated. Exercise Marujwala, the Indian Armed Forces, the largest joint display since Operation Sindhu, where firepower meets future warfare. Apache helicopters, the T-90 battle tanks, all out in display. Ladies and gentlemen, since Operation Sindhu, this by far has been the biggest tri-services exercise that has been carried out. Over the next few days, here on Republic Media Network, we are going to take you through two border areas. One in Porbandar, where the exercise has gained a lot of significance, keeping in mind that this was being done close to Sir Creek area. And tonight what we are going to do is going to take you to Jaish-e-Mohammed, where the exercise was basically carried out. No other network has got the kind of access that we have got to just get you a sense of how India is prepared. Take a look at this special report.
The Western Front could be India's future battlefield. Final phase of exercise Marujwala, part of Tri-Services Trishul, rumbles into action in Rajasthan's Jaisalmer. Jointness is the mission. Army, Air Force and allied formations operate as a single lethal organism.
From ground to air, it is the might of the Indian Armed Forces that is being witnessed here as part of exercise Trishul. Right now, we are in the forward area of the Jaisalmer in the Rajasthan, and in these deserts how Indian Armed Forces are proving their might. This is what is evident on ground. From the robotic mules to the Ashni platoons, these are what the Indian Armed Forces next. The modern generation warfare is all about, to these giant tanks, the T-19 tanks to the K9 howitzers that have the capacity to not only to completely decimate the target course, it leaves the adversary completely decimated, and that is what the T-90 Bhishma tank is actually known for. Apart from these Bhishma tanks, we also have these precision weapons that have the accuracy as precise as 0 meters, so that the adversary's attempt can be destabilized. And then is the K9 howitzer tanks, those who are capable to actually go into 40 to 50 kilometers into the enemy's territory. So one strike from this very place and it will be the adversary that will be completely decimated. And these men on the tanks, they are capable enough to strike the adversary. We have seen these tanks that how they play a vital role, especially in these deserts where it is almost impossible for everyone to move. They fly like the king and they give adversary that how their nefarious plans will be decimated, because from this very place in Jaisalmer where we are reporting from, and Indian Armed Forces are conducting their largest ever joint exercise Trishul after Operation Sindoor. Here the message is not only from the K9 Ashni platoon, the robotic mules, the T-90 Bhishma tanks, but also the aerial support being given by the Indian Air Force, the Mi-17, the Apache attack helicopters, the advanced light helicopters, and also the Jaguars that are roaring on the skies of Rajasthan.
Steel leads the assault. T-90 Bhishma formation spearhead the ground drive, backed by BM-2 infantry carriers.
This is T-90. This is the tank that is the main battle tank of the Indian Armed Forces. And right now we are moving in the deserts of Rajasthan. In this tank, the Bhisham T-90, which is the savior of India and a decimator of the adversary. These are the pilots, these are the main operators of this tank that is moving on the desert of Rajasthan. And this becomes really an important time, because at a time when we have seen India making it very clear to Pakistan that any misadventure of the adversary will be taken as a provocation and it will have repercussions for the Pakistan. We are moving on the India's military might. Yes, this 125 mm shot, once this goes, it makes sure that the enemy's bunkers and the enemy's infrastructure is decimated. We are moving on a terrain where it is impossible for the other vehicles to even go. But for this one, it can go up to 60 kilometers per hour. And now it's the time that we will race up. We will race up to the full speed. Now the operator is going a full throttle, and you will see that how the adversary feels the heat and how we will also be having to face the desert, because with the top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, this can give the adversary almost zero time to respond to the situation.
The sky dominates the fight. Apache AX-64S provide precision strike and overwatch. Sensors, rockets and guided munitions shaping the battlefield.
Indian Armed Forces are carrying out a large-scale exercise, largest ever post-Operation Sindoor, and here are the visuals where you will see the attack helicopters that are part of this operation. This has the joint ground and air validation exercises being carried out by the Indian Army as part of the exercise Trishul. And here you will see the Apache attack helicopters, T-90, Bhishma tanks as well as the BMPs rolling on the deserts of Rajasthan, close to the Indo-Pakistan international border, and giving adversary a stern message that if adversary dares to challenge the sovereignty of the country, it will be given a befitting reply. This is roughly 50 kilometers from the Indo-Pakistan border, and here this exercise is taking place. This is the exercise Marujwala that is taking place under the command of the Southern Command of Indian Army, that is responsible for the 40% land mass that the Indian Armed Forces, Indian Army actually secures on ground. And here you will see that how the coordinated response is taking place. It is the jointness, Atmanirbharta and the innovation that has been brought in. And here you will see the Apache attack helicopters that are providing an aerial support and aerial assistance to the Indian Army's ground maneuvers. So this is totally a high intensity maneuvers that are taking place here on the ground, that after back-to-back the ground is being totally covered with the T-90 Bhishma tanks and the BMPs that are taking the troops forward to the adversary area. There are the movements of the troops on ground as well. So it's the mechanized infantry and then the airborne units that are carrying out this drill. This is to actually come up to the modern challenges, the modern warfare that has been witnessed in the past as well, and especially after Operation Sindoor, we have seen that how war has taken a new turn. And now what we are witnessing here in the deserts of Rajasthan, that a joint operation validation is taking place here on the ground.
Precision artillery extends reach. K9 Vajra and 130mm guns deliver long-range fires. Battlefield depth now measured in kilometers.
It's the ground and the air operations that are underway as we speak from the Indo-Pakistan international border. Here you will see how these T-90 tanks on the ground, and it is the drone on the top. Here I'll request Vijay Surendrawatji to go to the ground, that how the T-90 tanks and the BMPs are advancing to the enemy's position. Here you will see these main battle tanks that are known to decimate the adversary. They are roaring on the deserts of Rajasthan. This is to ensure that this kind of a warfare where the enemy's success lies on its ground forces, how to decimate these forces. And here you will see that how these tanks are advancing in one of the toughest terrains of the country. Mostly these areas are the ones that are actually the deciding factor for any war that takes place. How these ground maneuvers are taking place along with the aerial support that is being given not only by the Indian Air Force but also the aviation wing of the Indian Army. And here you will see the tanks, the T-90 Bhishma tanks that are the main battle tanks. They are roaring, and here you will see it is the Jaguar fighters on the skies of Rajasthan, very close to the adversary Pakistan. So this sends a clear-cut message to the adversary that what India is preparing for, that if they dare to challenge it, it will be given a befitting reply. And here, though the smoke has taken over, but this also sends a clear-cut message that now the adversary area, this has been completely captured by the Indian ground forces.
Meanwhile, the Ashni drone platoon deploys tactical UAVs for real-time targeting and precision strikes.
Indigenous drones are one of the key assets when it comes to the modern warfare, and right now, as we report from the exercise Marujwala, here the Indian Armed Forces have also brought in their specialized drones. These drones are especially made for the modern warfare. They can not only keep an eye on the adversary but also have the capability to drop the payload. You will see that they have a special place that is built to drop the payload. In this case, this is just a piece of paper, but they can also record what is going on, and that comes to the display to their handlers. So that is in a handheld device, they will be able to see what will happen, and now it is being made airborne as the situation arises. As we continue with the here at the exercise Marujwala in the area, in the deserts of Rajasthan, one thing that sends a clear-cut message to the adversary is the India's preparedness. The preparedness that how India can tackle any threat, not only that how we can do the ground maneuvers to give adversary a befitting reply, but also the systems that have been put in place so that the enemy's warfare threats can be destabilized within no time.
Sudarshan drones penetrate deep, 40 km plus, jam resistant with payload capability. Swarm drones sweep the skies. Drop-capable drones resupply forward troops. Robotic mules push ahead as silent logistic eyes.
After the mechanized infantry vehicles and the aerial support that has been given here on the ground, it's the time for the ground troops of the Indian Army to advance. This is part of the exercise Trishul that is taking place, that how troops of the Indian Army equipped with the sophisticated weapons, they are advancing to the locations of the enemy. Right or the left, wherever you will see, you will find the troops of the Indian Army advancing, because these are the areas are really very challenging. These deserts are the one where they have to ensure that the adversary do not see them even after advancing to the adversary area. So how tactically these troops are moving, that is what you are witnessing here, because here in this desert terrain, the one of the key challenges is survival. So it is not only that they are surviving, but they are also ensuring that they give adversary a befitting reply, and the deployment has been done in such a manner that the rocket launching position is towards the enemy's main target area from where enemy is carrying out the assault.
As power equipments go mobile, the IAF proves that runways are expendable. Highways landing and rapid turnaround sorties are set to sharpen combat realism. Meanwhile, field commanders validated tactics. Lieutenant General Dheeraj Seth reviews Akhand Prahar, praising innovation and formation-level adaptability. The message? Self-reliance must be battle-proven.
The robotic mule that you will see, that mule is taking this first aid along with it. This robotic mule is of quite importance, reason being that it has an advanced camera on it that gives an additional support, while on the other hand you will see a drone coming. These are the loitering munition drones that can carry the payload The payload can be of the form that it can destroy the enemy's area and it can also provide an assistance to it. You will see robotic mule that is providing the first aid kit to the security forces, while that payload drone is dropping the ammunition for the security forces, for the Indian Army troops that are part of operation. So this is the larger motive of this exercise, that how to validate the operational preparedness of the security forces, that how they can carry out the operation at a time when the challenges are manifold.
From the sands of Jaish-e-Mohammed, India demonstrates a clear truth. Jointness and self-reliant innovation define battlefield advantage. Prepared for war, prepared to win.
तो ये जो एक्सरसाइज मरूज वाला, जिसका आप लोगों को सबको ये मौका मिला, इस मरूज वाला एक्सरसाइज जो अभ्यास हमने रची है, तो सबसे पहली बात मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि ये मरूज वाला एक्सरसाइज ओवरऑल एक्सरसाइज त्रिशूल, जो कि एक ट्राई सर्विसेज एक्सरसाइज है, उसका एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है। क्योंकि इस मरूज वाला एक्सरसाइज एक्चुअली पिछले 2 महीने की कार्रवाई का अंतिम चरण था। यानी कि 2 महीने से यहाँ पर सदर्न कमांड का जो सुदर्शन चक्र कोर है, जो कि स्ट्राइक कोर है, वो यहाँ 2 महीने से पूरी मेहनत के साथ अपनी ट्रेनिंग कर रहा है। और उसका जो मेन दस्ता है वो एक शाहबाज डिवीजन, जो एक रैपिड है, वो इसके साथ शामिल है। और इसके अलावा सदर्न कमांड का एविएशन ब्रिगेड, ईडब्ल्यू ब्रिगेड, पैरा एसएफ बटालियन, ये सब एकजुट होकर इन्होंने पिछले 2 महीने में जो कामयाबी हासिल की है, उसका जो फल वो आप सबने आज सुबह मरूजवाला के तहत देखा। और जो अभी आप लोगों ने मेरे साथ जो खड़े हैं, ये पाथ फाइंडर्स, ये 7 पैरा बटालियन के हैं, एयरबोर्न बटालियन के पाथ फाइंडर्स हैं, जिनको आपने देखा। और ये अंतिम चरण में, क्योंकि एक ये स्ट्रेटेजिक फोर्स होती है, रैपिड रिएक्शन फोर्स, जो स्ट्राइक कोर ने अपने ओवरऑल प्लान बनाया है, उसको आखिर क्षण में अंजाम देने के लिए इनको एक स्ट्रेटेजिक टारगेट दिया जाता है। तो ये आप लोगों ने यहाँ पर देखा। मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहूँगा कि ये जो पिछले 2 महीने से जो कार्रवाई चल रही है, वो तमाम ऑल आर्म्स, यानी कि चाहे वो इन्फेंट्री, आर्मर्ड, मैकेनाइज्ड इन्फेंट्री, इंजीनियर्स, आर्टिलरी, इनके तमाम ऑल आर्म्स दस्तों का लैंड बेस्ड मनूवर की जो ट्रेनिंग थी, उसके ऊपर फोकस था। और मैं बड़ी खुशी से कहना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे साथ यहाँ सुदर्शन चक्र के कोर कमांडर साहब भी मौजूद हैं, कि सुदर्शन चक्र कोर ने जिस कड़ी मेहनत के साथ ये ट्रेनिंग की है, तो मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में इन्होंने जो नए जनरेशन इक्विपमेंट अपने इनको मिले हैं, उनको इन्होंने अपनी ट्रेनिंग में शामिल करते हुए नए टीटीपीज जो निर्धारित किए हैं, उनकी ट्रेनिंग की है। और मैं सराहना करना चाहता हूं पूरे सुदर्शन चक्र कोर की, कि जिस प्रकार से उन्होंने मेहनत से अपने आप को इस प्रभावशाली मरूजवाला द्वारा मुझे आज जो दिखाया गया, उससे मैं पूरी तरह से संतुष्ट हूँ। और इस सुदर्शन चक्र कोर की तमाम इमदादी दस्तों की मैं सराहना करता हूँ। और इसी बात से मैं आज ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि हम पूरी तरीके से ऑपरेशनली रेडी हैं। जो नया जनरेशन इक्विपमेंट है, उसको हमने भली भांति अब्जॉर्ब किया है, और आने वाले समय में इस ऑपरेशनल रेडीनेस को हम और बढ़ावा देंगे।
As we are showing you the might of the Indian Army and its soldiers that carry out one of the complex operations along the borders. This is the complex combat freefall, and here you will see the troops of the Parachute Regiment of the Indian Army, which are also known as the Special Forces. They are coming. This is a freefall. They have been dropped from a moving C-130, and now they are landing here at a place that has been earmarked earlier. These operations usually are carried out deep inside the enemy's territory, with the motive that every troop that comes down, they have a motive and achievement to make.